I Left Russia by NFKRZ.
Hello Blazers, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian. Hi guys, and today welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, guys, welcome to the beautiful city of Tbilisi, Georgia. Yes guys, that is correct. I'm currently in Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, for an extended vacation. Let's just call it that for now, I guess. But yeah, I've been here for a bit. This is like my 4th proper day here. And yeah, last days have been super hectic and also the weather was ass. But finally I'm getting to record this video. Basically, yes, the title of this video is not clickbait. I have actually left Russia. I don't know for how long, I don't know how well this is gonna go, but I did. Oh, I thought that was the Russian flag for a second. That almost got me spooked. Because that's not the flag you see a lot on the streets of Georgia, and I understand it. I guess one thing that you guys are gonna ask me immediately is why I left Russia and why I specifically came to Georgia, I guess. And honestly, there's a ton of reasons. Well, first of all, I would say that my main reason for, making the decision to leave Russia is the fact that, well, I'm pretty sure, at this point I'm like 99.9% sure that YouTube in Russia is probably gonna be banned within the next couple of weeks. And obviously I'm a YouTuber, so that is a big concern for me. Another factor is that I guess, I'm really uncertain about the future of Russia at this point.
Dude, Georgia is so beautiful. Every single one of these countries is just so fucking pretty. It's wild to me. It's like, as someone who's living in America, it's so strange seeing, one, public transportation that is constantly fucking whizzing by, and two, beautiful architecture that has been built many years ago.
To be honest, because these sanctions and everything, no matter what some people might tell you, they are very, very destructive for the Russian economy, okay? In some regions of Russia, there's already shortages of certain food products, for example, sugar.
Bro, this is crazy because Russia literally straight up is oh no, we're tanking it. We're totally tanking the sanctions. And even America has not really talked about how successful the sanctions have been. You know what I mean? I feel like you don't really hear about it in a real way, what the serious impact of sanctions have been on average Russian citizens, kind of. So it's interesting to see it. I mean, the real sanctions are the top of the hour ad break, which is kind of like a sanction on the non-subscribed chatters. There have been news reports on the effectiveness of sanctions. I feel like there hasn't been a lot, though. For those of you who are watching, this is NFKRZ. A Russian YouTuber. We watched a bunch of his videos before, and talked about his experiences as a Russian content creator in Russia, and the sanctions and how it's going to impact his life personally. Another good example is my family's still in Russia. Some moved back to Armenia. My account is locked, so I'm limited to my university pay, which is not much. Still trucking though. Yeah, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, dude. That. These people have to straight up get fucked for no reason. They have no control. They literally have no control over their lives. And they're fucked. They have no control over what the Russian government does. We here in America don't have any fucking control over what the American government does. If it was up to you, you would probably want the American government to give you healthcare instead of, pumping the rest of the planet full of guns and starting war everywhere. Right? But the American government doesn't listen to your interests. They don't care about your interests, right? Now, 10x that with Russia.
Of Russian stuff. And now since the events in Ukraine started, obviously, the amount of Russians who are trying to flee has gotten crazy. And according to the statistics here of the government...
Did you hear about Zelensky banning all opposition parties today? He didn't ban him. Did he ban him today? I thought he banned him a long time ago. He already banned the communists, I think. And he's also banned any kind of pro-Russian media. But that was even before the invasion. People don't understand, Ukraine is not some fucking Jeffersonian liberal democracy, okay? He banned the rest of them last night. You should have well, I don't think he's going to ban Svoboda. He banned every left-wing party in Ukraine now. Just the Communist Party was banned before. Based. Yeah. He banned one with 44 parliament seats. He banned and suspended every opposition party, 11 of them. There's parties that hold 44 seats that he banned. Lamau. Yeah. Only during martial law. It makes sense. Yeah. Well, the Communist Party that was banned was banned in 2015. The Communist Party that was banned in 2015. That was also what do you call it? That was banned in 2015. The media companies that were Russia adjacent or pro-Russia were banned before the invasion. That was banned in I guess this past year. And now they're just consolidating all the TV channels, and they're all doing all TV channels are gonna do war hour, kind of. I forget what it's called. Anyway, listen. That a lot of that stuff is normal. It's fucking martial law. Like, I get it. They're under fire. They're under war. America does this. Every country does this. That's why, for example, Cuba has like authoritarian measures that they take when it comes to their freedom of speech. If you're under fire, if you're under war, it's gonna be, you need to fucking maintain some level of like information control. So don't listen to anyone who fucking says like, oh my God, like they're, I can't believe they're doing this. Like, but also don't listen to anyone that says that Ukraine has always been like this fucking liberal safe haven, because it wasn't. It literally was not. Western media before February 2022, Western media after February 22, Slava Ukraini. Ukraine celebrates Nazi collaborator bands book critical of pogrom leaders. Far-right fighters from Europe fight for Ukraine. I mean, they didn't do a lot of this coverage, I think. I mean, there was a lot of the coverage, but like not enough. Yeah, there is no country that has ever become more tolerant and more liberal. Like, David Frum's a fucking idiot, dude. He writes for The Atlantic. That's why he's saying Ukraine may be the first example in human history of a country that under the pressure of war is becoming more tolerant, more liberal. Yeah, like, that's not happening. That's not happening. Of course it's not happening. But it makes sense because it's war. Really, he temporarily suspended the operations of a handful of parties with direct ties to the Kremlin, including one led by Viktor Medvedchuk, the godfather of Putin's daughter, who is widely believed. Yes, this is true. Medvedchuk was supposed to be Putin's choice to install Zelensky's replacement in a coup. Faustini the Greatest is a lib, but he is correct that there was suspicion that if Zelensky were to be replaced, it would be with that person. So you are correct. Except, the leftist parties, some of which were claimed to have ties with Russia, were banned before this invasion. And they've been banned. And same with media channels as well. The entire point of it is this. Liberals engage in censorship all the time, but it's okay when they do it, but it's not okay when anyone else does it. The entire point is, I get why they're doing it. Like, I totally understand why they're doing it. It's martial law. It's war. I don't appreciate them doing it before the war, which they did. But it does make sense now, of course. But it's still pretty funny when people are just like, yeah, dude, it's fucking, these guys are so liberal. They're so liberal, so pog. Russia is giving Ukraine until 5 a.m. to surrender Mariupol, after which he says it'll let the 130,000 remaining civilians leave. The language for it uses for Kiev's forces, nationalists, foreign mercenaries, bandits, leaves little doubt about what Russia has in store for them. Yeah. Luckily, a friend of mine has... Like, I have a close Ukrainian friend who has family members literally living in Mariupol, but luckily they found out that they were good and they were actually they were able to escape, even though originally they fucking refused to, because that's what grandmas and aunts, the babushkas, do. Okay, sometimes babushkas be like that, and it's not fucking good. You can't convince them to fucking leave, and they want to stay there. And then, and then they get stuck. My friend Joe Rogan type beat sarcasm. Yeah, I mean, I don't see an issue with this. Hell, Lincoln suspended habeas corpus. Dog, you're a liberal. Of course you don't see an issue with this. The fuck do you mean? I'm just saying that it's understandable that during times of war, they engage in this sort of shit. I hope it doesn't extend. But I also don't believe that it's acceptable before, in the lead up to the invasion, when it was done originally, which I thought was unacceptable and inappropriate. Even by devastating standards of Russia's war in Ukraine, what's going on in Mariupol is pure horror. Guy Chazan spoke to survivors. His story is free to read. Liberals are literally incapable of criticizing Ukraine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A lot of liberals have already given up on Ukraine. They don't give a fuck anymore. So spending habeas corpus is acceptable. What the fuck's going on in this chat? I think it's appropriate or acceptable what they did before the invasion. But I understand why they're doing it after the invasion. But I also wonder if they will continue with that attitude. And yeah, I think they will. This is yet another instance of like my fears coming true, where Ukraine will permanently become a more right-wing, reactionary fucking country in the aftermath of this war, and Russia is responsible for that, okay? It's not just Western forces. Obviously, they're responsible as well. They bear some of the responsibility for it, but it's certainly Russia for invading Ukraine and making it fucking worse, okay?
Georgia, apparently...
You disagree? You don't think Russia is responsible by invading? You think like when a fucking large imperial power puts its fucking dick through your country that your country is not going to use nationalist gangs as a fucking emancipatory force? What do you mean? Have you looked at a history book? That has literally always happened. They are number one. What makes Russia imperialist? Okay, irredentist, if you want to say that, dummy. What do you mean? Like, I don't think Russia wants to fucking literally just long dick Ukraine and take it over in its entirety, okay? I think Russia understands that multiple years of occupation would be devastating. I think Russia's current demands on Ukraine, up to that peace negotiations that we have talked about, are understandable, reasonable demands that they have made, with certain exceptions, obviously. Like full-blown demilitarization is not going to fucking happen. Obviously, that's never going to happen. But like assurances in writing that Ukraine is not going to join NATO, which they never were going to anyway, shit like that, those are justifiable, and those are reasonable demands that they're making. What's unreasonable, however, is fucking blowing up an entire country in your goddamn neighborhood to get those demands. Completely unacceptable and idiotic. Idiotic for the reasons that I've already mentioned. Idiotic because of the economic consequences for Russia and regular Russians. Idiotic because the bloodshed that it's causing, the devastation it's causing in a neighboring country of 44 million people, a country that has a history of separatist nationalism from the USSR, historically, that has literally gone so far as to like collaborate with fucking Nazis. In a country like that, when you go in and invade, they're going to get fucking really violently right-wing. It's completely unjustifiable. What Russia's actions were not only completely unjustifiable, they might as well just done this with a fucking gift wrap to Washington, D.C., in the words of Noam Chomsky. They basically, literally, they should have like wrapped this up. They should have wrapped this up with a fucking bow to Washington. You literally justify every Atlanticist shithead and their fucking fears, okay? Why are you so obsessed with what Ukraine might become after? I'm a political commentator, motherfucker. I talk about America's involvement in foreign policy and what big nations do to little nations all the fucking time, or smaller nations all the fucking time. Look at Afghanistan. Hillary Clinton can go on MSNBC and literally talk about like Ukraine will become Russia's second Afghanistan, but you don't ever think about it from the point of view of like Afghanistan, from the point of view of the Afghan people. Okay? Do you want that to happen to fucking Ukraine? Do you think that that's a good fucking future for Ukraine? Boat analogy happening right now? Exactly.
Over like, at least like 30,000 Russians came here in the last like 3 weeks or whatever, which is insane. You know, I guess a lot of the people are gonna have a question, you know, of whether I'm trying to, you know, stay here or move here permanently. Thing is, I'm not exactly sure, because it actually depends on a couple of factors. First of all, is finding an apartment, because Tbilisi isn't like a super huge city, it has over 1.1 million residents, and obviously the amount of people who came and the amount of apartments, you understand, it doesn't really correlate. So what this led to is that apartment, you know, prices for rents here have shot up like crazy. So apparently before, Georgia is actually very affordable for rents, so you could rent like a huge, maybe like 3-4 room apartment for like $500 or something. Now that price has gone up to $1,000.
Also, I'm sorry, but I love the fucking Marxist-Leninist brain rot, the fucking Tankie, whatever brain rot of saying something along the lines of like, how is what Russia's doing imperialist, but then also simultaneously recognizing that the World Bank and the IMF are engaging in economic imperialism. If you recognize that the World Bank is capable of engaging in economic imperialism upon the third world, then you should be able to understand that Russia absolutely is interested in maintaining control over the Ukrainian economy and not let the fucking Western influence take hold over the country, specifically because Ukraine would also be a competitor in oil, gas, and commodities to Russia, okay? And if you don't consider Russia's interest, other than the NATO stuff, other than obviously not having Ukraine as like as another forward operating base directly targeting Moscow, that's a legitimate fucking fear, a security concern that Russia has, and that's never going to go away. But other than that, if you think that there is no materialist reason as to why Russia wants to make sure that Ukraine is constantly constantly a, maybe not a vassal state, but as much as as close to a vassal state as possible to fucking Russia is insane. And that ultimately is, considering that Russia is also a capitalist nation state, the final stage of capitalism. Okay, imperialism, the final stage of capitalism. Marxist-Leninists should maybe shut the fuck up and recognize that Lenin himself would personally consider what Vladimir Putin is doing at this very moment to be an imperialist action. Why does chat focus on Tankies on Twitter all the time? Hasan. Also, Hasan yelling at tanks because of one idiot in the chat. No, I'm sorry, but there's like actually fucking stupid people even in this community that constantly fucking make this, you know, there are people here that do actually fucking say dumb shit. And also, you know, it's not reflective of the entirety of Marxist-Leninists, clearly, but it is frustrating whenever some people come in here and they're like, dude, you don't know anything about theory. You don't know anything about theory. Imagine Ukrainian oil going to NATO states right on Russia's front porch. Exactly. Even if Russia doesn't want to fucking make sure that, like, even if Russia isn't personally interested in, like, destroying Ukraine's, like, opportunities with respect to becoming, like, a gas oil giant that could compete against Russia or whatever, even if that's not their main interest, which it kind of is, because they just don't want a competitor, they certainly don't want that to be a Western ally, a Western-aligned nation that is a competitor to them. Meanwhile, the ones that are winning in this fucking game that Russia is playing and losing, in my opinion, is Western oil and gas giants. They literally are fucking, they're making so much goddamn money, okay? They're fucking killing it. They get to destroy the hopes of a fucking second pipeline going directly into Germany. And now the rest of the world is going to have to be reliant on them for the distribution of oil and gas instead of Russia, cutting out a major cutting out a major competitor in the OPEC Plus nations by becoming the main provider for Europe. And they will do it. Sick. It's great. It's awesome. Great. Meanwhile, people are just fucking dying. Ukrainians are dying for no fucking reason. Russian conscripts are dying. And also, you know, Russian people are suffering on top of that.
Basically. So yeah, that obviously creates an issue for me trying to find a place right now because I still haven't. I understand that it also creates a lot of issues for the locals there because, I mean, kind of like Russia, I guess, you know, the salaries here are not super high or anything like that. And obviously now with this influx of Russians here and the rents going up so much, I mean, I understand that a lot of the locals here are not even able to rent an apartment themselves, you know. It's kind of like gentrification times 100. Actually, when I came here and I posted about it, a lot of people from Georgia that are my fans were like, yeah, dude, this is amazing, you know, welcome, we're so glad for you to be here, whatever. But I did get a couple of messages of people saying, you know, go back to Russia essentially, which I do understand. And honestly, if I was like a local right now who was maybe planning to rent an apartment and now that all these Russians came and the prices going up like crazy, I'll be like, yeah, fuck these Russians as well, you know what I mean?
By the way,
really
you know
like
I'm not fucking pro-NATO,
like
so don't even get started on that
European,
shit.
But also kind of also Soviet at the same time. It's really cool. One thing that I think is really interesting, if you look at like the metro here, yeah, this is actually really tight that Tbilisi has a metro because it's like the same size as my hometown, Chelyabinsk, which doesn't, right? But here they do have a metro, and if you look at that logo, it's pretty much like exactly like the Moscow, like the old Moscow metro logo, which is just, you know, it's really cool.
Fucking bullshit, dude. All these motherfuckers have subways, bro. They have metro stations. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Hey, Americans, how do you like that, dude? Why, look at that.
But yeah, another, I guess, issue that I would point out about, you know, that I have to figure out is actually opening the bank accounts. Because the thing is that before this whole situation, before so many Russians started coming to Georgia, it was actually super easy for a foreigner of any nationality, and Russians included, to open a bank account here. Now that is not the case anymore because so many Russians, you guys understand that like a lot of Russians that are coming here, like they're down bad. Like they either lost their job or lost the ability to be paid because of the sanctions and stuff like that. That's kind of basically me. And also the worst part as well is that since Visa and MasterCard left Russia, essentially now none of the Russian credit cards work abroad. So I'm here right now in Tbilisi. I cannot pay with any of my Russian credit cards. They just don't work. They decline every time. And I'm literally only left to a bunch of cash and crypto. So yeah, I pay in cash the old-fashioned way. And as far as crypto goes, yeah, I don't want to beg too much again because currently I still have a bit of money to do whatever I need to do here. But yeah, I'll have my crypto wallet links down in the description if you want to donate. But for now it's fine. But if I'm going to be down bad, I'm going to tell you guys for sure. So yeah, this situation obviously creates a high demand for Russians coming in and trying to open bank accounts. And the thing is that banks here actually got pretty stable stingy as far as opening a bank account goes. So a lot of people get their requests to open an account denied. Banks ask for like a ton of documents proving, you know, your source of income and everything, which is fine, I get that. But yeah, like the whole process is like super random. Like the people that work the same job that like come together to open a bank, one of them gets a bank account, the other gets denied. Like it's absolutely nobody knows what the hell is going on essentially, right? So yeah, that is definitely also one factor that I think is important in this.
Dude, my favorite person is the crypto guy that goes, "Guess Hasan won't talk shit about crypto now that it saves lives." Yeah, dude. Like, I love that. I love that. Like, motherfuckers, like, I don't care that, like, the world is on fire if it means, like, crypto gets a good rap in this story, okay? Crypto's saving lives, dude. Going to the moon. Death to fiat.
Deciding whether I will stay here or not, but the plan is to, yeah, I mean, again, the main locations that every Russian sort of that is, you know, in a position like me is choosing to go to, it's mainly Georgia, also Armenia, Yerevan, and yeah, people also go into Serbia, Azerbaijan, countries like that, countries that basically have visa-free entry with Russia and an ability for you to stay there for a little bit. But as far as like staying, Georgia is the best because you can literally stay here for 360 days in a year without a visa, and this is why a lot of people come here. And also clearly, from what you guys see in this video, it's a pretty fucking cool place, right? So yeah guys, if I'm going to be quite honest here, I really don't know what the future holds for me and if my relocation here is going to work. And I guess that's one thing I want to stress as well, is that I wouldn't call this an immigration, or I wouldn't call this like leaving Russia for good, because still, you know, last 6 months of my life I lived in St. Petersburg and I really loved it. It's such a great city, but yeah, it's just kind of not the same anymore, right? And yeah, I'm here for the time being because I can't really get paid too well in Russia. It's also like the entire situation, the tensions right now is just insane. So yeah, maybe I will return eventually, and I plan to return eventually because still, even though the situation is messed up, obviously I have family and friends and, you know, so many great people back there, and you know, losing that is painful. So yeah, you know, I would say that the main thing I want to do here while I'm here in Georgia is I just want to respect the people here. I just want to respect the culture as much as I can, because clearly, you know, I'm a foreign person, and obviously I just feel super grateful for the fact that, you know, Georgia even lets us in. And despite a lot of bad blood between these two countries, still a lot of people of Georgia show hospitality and just being nice. And all the people who are my fans, who are locals here, also have been hitting me up, offering to help and everything. It's been amazing. Honestly, I want to fucking cry right now. So yeah, I'm kind of like in a weird state. So like YouTube is not like my main priority right now because I'm just trying to figure out, you know, how to sort of figure things out here and everything. But yeah, once I get my shit sorted, I mean, I would say that, you know, this country gives me a lot of opportunity to produce content. I mean, this place is very unique. There's for sure going to be a lot of, you know, Soviet stuff for me to film here. So that's not going to be an issue. So all of you Soviet heads, rest assured that the content, even though I'm not in Russia at the moment, the content is still going to be, there's going to be enough Soviet shit for you to look at, basically. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I guess the last thing I want to say in this video is that I just want to, again, thank everybody for your support. The amount of messages I'm getting these days and just the amount of people, you know, checking if I'm okay and everything has been crazy. And I hope you guys are going to be here along for the ride, along for the journey. I really don't know what the fuck is going on in my life at this point, to be honest, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's going to be all good. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy the vlogs, you know, the times of a dumbass Russian in Georgia who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with his life. And yeah, just want to say again, thanks for watching this video. Again, if you want to support me additionally, go down to the description, you know, my crypto wallets, whatever, donate, support me, because right now I don't know what the fuck is going on with my finances. You know, I'm essentially like a second-class citizen all over the world now. My cards don't even work. It's a fucking nightmare. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys are going to be along.
Ukraine is rapidly sinking the fascism and Nazis, and what should Russia do? Just allow the ideology that massacred millions to thrive? Hell no, this is genuine anti-fascist action. Dude, you are fucking delusional, dude. You are so close to just getting absolutely fucking ass blasted with a ban hammer. 21 subscriber, Sophia. Stop. Ukraine hasn't been closer to fucking Nazism on their own volition before Russia invaded. Of course, there are right-wing elements, reactionary elements, and nationalist elements within Ukraine. I've talked about it a million times. But you know what actually fucking galvanizes them, legitimizes them? Getting fucking invaded by the country that all of the nationalists have been fearful of in perpetuity. I mean, look at 9/11 post, look at America post 9/11. And that's not a one-to-one comparison because, like, we got attacked by people that our government had originally, you know, beefed up and given guns to. But think about like the attitude in America post 9/11 about like Muslim people, and also just like America's endless imperialist affairs. And you recognize that that's not appropriate, right? You see that, and you know that Americans were fucking psychotic after that. But a part of you has to realize that like that happened because they felt for the first time, Americans felt for the first fucking time, fear, genuine fear that like, oh shit, we could be attacked at any given moment. Now understand that like Ukrainians already fucking have that fear, and now those fears have been realized. Wasn't it not a Nazi show before the war? No, there were reactionary elements, of course, and Nazis, of course. And the Ukrainian governments had historically conceded to those reactionary and Nazi elements. But you also have to remember, like, Hillary Clinton literally told Europe, if you want to defeat the right-wing fascist momentum in Europe, you have to literally concede to them. That's just the neoliberal position. You're making it seem like Zelensky is anything different than like a Hillary Clinton-style corrupt-ass fucking neolib. It's just so stupid. You have to understand that like most neoliberals want to and feel like they have to fucking concede to reactionary forces because they themselves are, you know, they have like a hidden level of reactionary hostility as well.
Along for the rides, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.